Today I want to talk to all of you out there who have either personally or perhaps a family member or a friend who've gone through the unfortunate experience of a foreclosure, either a tax or a mortgage foreclosure that ultimately ended in an auction of the property. Specifically, I want to talk about surplus funds. Well, what are they? Well, exactly what it sounds like. It's leftover money after all the debts have been paid. You see, when there's an auction of property, the proceeds from the sale are used to pay off whatever the debt was, either the mortgage or the taxes and any other liens that might be on the property. Anything left over is yours. That's surplus funds. Think of it this way. If you were to sell your house, say for $300,000, and you use the money that you got from the sale and you pay off an existing mortgage, say $200,000. Well, the remaining $100,000, that's surplus funds. That's leftover, and that money would be yours. Obviously, you would expect it to be. You own the house. That's your money. Guess what? Same concept. When there is an auction of the property, even in a foreclosure, it's simply somebody else selling your property instead of you. But the money that's left over is still yours because you still owned the property. So surplus funds are the funds that are due and owing to homeowners after all the debts are paid. Now, why am I here? Because I have discovered there is so much money out there that homeowners don't even know they're entitled to. You see, I've been doing foreclosures for many years, more years than I care to tell you here. And in those years, I have helped my clients get their surplus funds if in the event the property did sell at auction. Well, while doing that and realizing there's other people out there that just didn't realize money was due to them, I started looking into it more and more and investigating, and what I found astounded me. You see, there is hundreds of millions of dollars out there across the country that are being held by counties and states just waiting for homeowners to come and claim their funds. So why is it sitting there? Well, most of the time it's because homeowners haven't been notified. They have no idea that that money is there. They didn't even know there was a such thing as surplus funds. You see, what happens is, and I'll use New York as an example because obviously that's where I'm from. Different states do it differently though. But here in New York, what happens after an auction is that the referee notifies the court of their report, what happened in the auction, and if there are any surplus funds. Then that money is deposited with the county, and ultimately it ends up with the state. And guess what? It just sits there. It sits there waiting to be claimed by the homeowner. Now, the county does notify the homeowner that there are surplus funds to be claimed. Unfortunately, that notification, where does it go? Last known address of the homeowner, which is usually the property address. The homeowner has long gone. They're not there and they can't receive that notice, and that notice does not get forwarded. So they're not notified. This is a problem. So I actually, through the years, have started letting people know. In fact, that's why I'm here today. I'm here today for a bigger audience to let you guys know. I'm giving you notice. There might be surplus funds out there for you if you've gone through this experience. Or they don't know because a family member has passed away. It was their home. And it's the estate that needs to be notified that this money is there. So this is your notice, letting you know that it might be there. Another problem that I found is that in today's day and age, scams are such a big thing, okay? We have scam artists, we have con artists, people that are always looking to, get the best of us and get something from us. So even though homeowners are getting notice from what's called surplus recovery companies, and there are legitimate ones out there, they're getting notice from these companies, Homeowners are very cautious. They're very skeptical. They're very guarded to such a point that they don't even want to pay attention. They don't even look. Their idea in their heads is it's too good to be true. How can there be money out there and I was never notified? How can there be money out there when I was in foreclosure? I'm not entitled to any money. Their thought process, and I thoroughly agree, because we are an age of scam artists, computers, and everything. It's the mindset that, look, this notice isn't real. They're looking to get my personal information. They're looking to take money from me for whatever reason. So we ignore these notices, even if they are legitimate. I'm going to let you in on a little secret, and this is, again, why I'm here. If you are notified by somebody or a number of people that there are surplus funds, more likely than not, that notification is accurate. There may be surplus funds. So how do we reconcile these two situations? Well, here's my advice. To help you be cautiously optimistic, here's some advice I got for you. First of all, if somebody contacts you that there are surplus funds, don't just throw it away, don't just hang up. Listen. Listen cautiously, but listen. If there has been an auction or something like that, maybe there's something to it. Here's where you get cautious. If they ask you that you have to turn over your rights, you have to sign a piece of paper giving them your rights to that surplus so that they can go ahead and do whatever has to be done with the courts or the state, don't do it. That's one of the scams. No reputable company is going to ask you to sign over your rights to surplus funds. They're there to, if they're legitimate, they're there to help you enforce your rights, not to get your rights. The second thing is if they're asking you for upfront fees. If they say, well, look, you know what, for the low cost of $1,000, I can recover your $25,000 surplus. No. Reputable companies are not going to ask for money up front. You see, they get all their expenses and their fees from the money they recover. It's almost like a contingency. Because if they don't recover, if there's no funds out there and they don't recover anything, they don't get paid. You don't pay a dime. So don't give any money up front. So those are the two ways to determine whether or not the whole thing is a scam. In fact, you can even ask for proof. You know, most of these surplus funds are discovered because of documents. Ask to see the documents. Ask them, where did you find this information and can you provide me? Like in New York State, we'll usually either have a referee's report or we'll have a surplus funds form. I have no problem. I always provide that because you know what? What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to help people get their surplus funds. I'm not looking to scam them or be a con artist. So why should I hide any information I found? It's just something to think about. Ask for it. Here's another thing you can do. You don't even have to wait to get notification. If you think that there's a possibility surplus funds are out there, start your treasure hunt yourself. You know, the money is probably being held either by the county or the state where the property was located. So if it was through a court action, look up the court action. See if there's anything out there. Start making some inquiries. If it was a trust sale, well, look and see who the trustee was and see if you can start tracking down that way. It might be worth your while. The bottom line is that there are surplus funds out there that people don't know that they're entitled to. They don't even know what surplus funds are. Or perhaps, like I said, maybe a loved one has passed away and you don't even know, the estate doesn't even know that the money exists. One final note I would say, and it is something that I came across that I want to stress very strongly. Look, a lot of people that I've come across, they are very embarrassed that they've gone through a foreclosure. almost like it's a badge of shame. It shouldn't be. I've gone through foreclosure myself. It was circumstances that I did not create. And most of us, it's not circumstances we created. Illness, loss of a job, anything. These were not of our doings. But you know what? You got to move on from that idea. Whether you were in a foreclosure because you couldn't pay your bills, that's irrelevant. The fact is, if that was your property and there are surplus funds, you are entitled to that money, nobody else. So it might be worth just listening up a little bit or doing a little investigation of your own. You know, there might just be something out there that can be very, very beneficial. This is just some advice from me, who has seen this many, many times. And again, millions of dollars are out there. So part of that might be for you. And I hope this advice really, really helps. Again, this is me, Holly Meyer, your mother-in-law. And I hope you have happy treasure hunting. Hope it turns up gold. Thanks.